Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is a beautiful morning. You know what I mean? The Eagles won, even though they played a trash team, but they still won. I'm your host, Carl Mike, and I'm here with two wonderful gentlemen here, man. We got Big Mo over here, Mr. Basketball himself. How you doing this morning, Mo?
I'm doing blessed. Great weekend, great sports weekend. Ready to get into it.
And none other than your NFL genius, my NFL genius, all of our NFL genius. He is here this morning with us, man. How you feeling this morning, brother? Mike is muted. Mike is muted.
A lot better than last week. I don't know how that happened to me 2 shows in a row. A lot better than last week. I feel great. I feel healthy. I'm back. I'm ready to. And listen, I feel like the Eagles feel like rejuvenated. I just got a big IV.
Beautiful. Intense weekend. Teams getting eliminated, man. Playoff contention is on the line. The injury reaper has surfaced this week. And visited the NFL. We lost some key players. Patrick Mahomes went down ACL. Michael Parsons went down ACL. Devontae with a hamstring, man. Something you don't want to see, but Mahomes down leaves the AFC wide open this year for a new Super Bowl appearance and next year as well. If the Chiefs can find somebody to possibly put them in playoff contention until Mahomes returns, because he ain't gonna return probably until around this time next year. But hey, man, the question is up there, Gene. The next 2 years, count this year and next year, who's gonna be your AFC appearances?
So I was very big on the Los Angeles Chargers going into this year before their offensive line absolutely got dismantled. They have Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, who, in my opinion, are the best tackle combo in football. They both have the potential to be all pros. And not only did they lose both of them, they lost both of their backups. So they're on their third string left and right tackle. And what are the Chargers, 10-4? They're a very so the Chargers to me is the team that I would look most out for in the AFC. And also, if the Houston Texans could ever figure out their offensive line, I think that the Houston Texans defense with D'Amico Ryans is next level. Watching those guys play right now, it's so in the AFC, I would really lean towards the Chargers and the Houston Texans as the teams I would look forward.
Early in the morning, Damien. Dang. Mo. AFC is wide open, man. Who's gonna be your reigning team the next 2 years?
I've always been a big Jim Harbaugh fan. I'm actually
with the Ravens, seriously.
I'm beyond impressed that the Chargers are 10-4. They have no business being 10-4. They don't have an explosive offense because all their guys are gone. All their guys are hurt. They've lost a lot of guys on defense, and Jim Harbaugh just continues to coach them up. They should not be 10-4. It's so impressive to me. Like I would have told you that a runaway coach of the year, it could have been Jim Harbaugh at the beginning, but now I think his stripes are even thicker than before. Like it's crazy that they're 10-4. And going forward, to Gene's point, when they're fully whole and healthy, and they're going to add more talent to that roster, I think the Chargers are going to be right there. They're going to be one of the top two teams in the AFC. I don't doubt that at all for the next couple of years. And look, I'm not just writing off the Chiefs. Let's be fair here. If Patrick Mahomes doesn't go down, and look, nobody wants that. He's one of the great players in the NFL. They weren't going to the playoffs anyway. They weren't going to the playoffs anyway. So I don't want this to be one of those seasons where people go, well, if Mahomes didn't get hurt. No, you weren't going to the playoffs if he was fully healthy. They just weren't a good football team. I'm just being honest.
Chiefs is gonna go as Mahomes always goes, man. But I don't know. I think they still would have had a chance, man.
It's crazy the job that Jim Harbaugh has done out in LA, and I don't think he's a top 5 candidate for Coach of the Year. That's nothing, no shade on him. I think he's done a great job, but let's take a step back for 1 minute. Mike Rabel, what he's done in New England. Mike Johnson, what he's done in Chicago. They're the 1 seed right now. Or sorry, 2 seed right now. Liam Cohen. Look at the Jaguars chilling at 11-4. You have teams across the NFL. What about Sean Payton, the 1 seed in the West with Bo Nix and a very slow offense? What about Mike McDonald and the Seattle Seahawks? These young coaches that have come into these organizations and completely have flipped the script on what they've done. And Jim Harbaugh's done a great job. But it's kind of crazy. I don't know, just.
But with 1 minute and 53 seconds left in the game, Mahomes goes down, Mo. They got 3 games left in the season, man. If Mahomes doesn't go down, do you think the Chiefs would have still won that game?
I think, look, they had a chance to win it. That would be the most honest answer. But anybody that goes like, "Well, we're going to win. We were going to win it anyway." Like, no, you weren't. You weren't going to win it. You wouldn't have been in the position you were in with that much time left if you were going to win it outright. So let's look. The reality is they weren't very good. This was this.
Hey, Mo, what's the Mahomes hate, man? What's the Mahomes hate?
I'm a huge Mahomes fan, but at least I'm honest. They weren't good. They weren't good this year, and it happens. These dynasties, they come to the end. The most impressive thing for Patrick Mahomes could be what's coming ahead of him when he's fully healthy. They restock. They could have another run, but this run's over, and it happens. And there's nothing wrong with that. It happens.
Gene, what you think, man?
I think they might have won the game this past week. I still don't think they make the playoffs.
You still don't think they make the playoffs?
No, because they would need to win out and they would need help.
They would.
So when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, would you have thought that Kansas City Chiefs team would have figured out a way to win at home versus Houston 2 weeks ago? I did. They didn't. Would you think that Kansas City Chiefs team would figure out a way to win at Denver when it was 19-19 and they had the ball with the opportunity to win the game? I did, and they didn't. So, like, it's fair to say they could have came back versus the Chargers in a 16-13 game, but you have to remember they scored 13 points in the whole game. So we're just expecting them to go down and score a touchdown. And Mahomes did have the ball.
It might would have kicked the field goal, sent it to OT.
Mahomes did have the ball with 5 minutes and 38 seconds left, and he threw an interception. So we got to call it like it is. This Chiefs team is broken and beaten down. And I don't know who got on here. I forget who it was. We did bold predictions and said the Chiefs and Lions wouldn't make the playoffs. Oh, wait, that was me.
That's fair.
Oh, man. Hey, it's a tragedy, man. You don't want to see that happen, man. At least, if all the stuff would have happened and the Chiefs would have still somehow squeaked into the playoffs, man. This is Travis Kelce last year. And it's over. But NFL genius, with Mahomes not returning next season, where do the Chiefs go from here?
They're going to be the second to last team in that division next year. They're not going to beat the Chargers and the Broncos without Patrick Mahomes next year. They're just not.
So they're like,
it's a rebuild year.
This is a complete rebuild.
100%. Who are you going to sign? You can't sign anybody with the way their contracts are structured if you want to build towards the future. I mean, you can get a quarterback in there for 1 year and hope that he does well with, I guess, B-tier receivers and a C-tier running back room and a D-tier offensive line. Their defense is good, but we got to be honest. I don't think that team recovers next year. I think in 2 years from now, they'll be back and you'll have a rejuvenated Mahomes.
That I agree with 100%. And let me just add one more thing, because I think Gene is spot on. 2 years from now, they're back in the mix. The question, though, I would say is 2 years from now, I don't know that Big Red is part of that. I'm just being real. He's not a young man.
No. But my thing is, you don't think what the 49ers did, they wasn't supposed to be where they are right now. They about to be
Niners, we're different.
They're in playoff contention right now.
I know.
So you don't think the Chiefs can come out and possibly get themselves in playoff contention and let Mahomes return around this time next year?
No, because everything they've done to even have the record that they have, it was all about him. He was their leading rusher. He was everything. No Patrick Mahomes. There's not going to be that Mahomes magic. You're going to have quarterback A in there, but he's
They
not
could
going to
go
be.
get Mac Jones.
Yeah. So what's that
I
kind of
mean,
thing?
they also play the AFC East and the NFC West. So it's not really the schedule difference for the Chiefs next year is not what it was for the 49ers this year. They play one of the toughest divisions in the NFL in the NFC West, and then they play the AFC East, which is loaded. You have the Patriots, who are a good football team, the Buffalo Bills, who are always a good football team, and the Dolphins are surging. They're closer to the playoffs than the Kansas City Chiefs are.
It's crazy to say. You know what, Cottrell, you might be right. I'm sure Gardner Minshew will get a phone call. I don't think
back up now. Yeah.
He's not taking them to the playoffs, but sure, he's not going to take them to the playoffs. So look, I just think that as a fan, I want Patrick Mahomes to come back 100%, be Patrick Mahomes that we know. But they were a bad football team. They were a mediocre football team. They weren't going to the playoffs. And I think they were due for a rebuild before the injury. I think the injury just speeds it up.
Well, let's talk about this. He said the Chiefs are going to have a third place schedule. Do you know what that third place schedule consists of? The three teams that they get in that third place schedule is the Cincinnati Bengals, third place in the AFC North. That's not the third place schedule I want. They get the Atlanta Falcons, who are probably the best overall team in the NFC South. And then they get the Houston Texans, who are the third place team in the AFC South. So when you say a third place schedule, it's not like they're getting cupcakes, Cottrell. They're getting 2 or 3 good football teams in that bunch.
But they do get to play the Raiders twice, so that's something.
That's fair.
Who knows? The Raiders might be rebuilding next year. Well, I know they are, but
they're doing that
now. What? NFL Genius Fly, Eagles Fly, man. 31-0. We all know the Raiders was a team that's already in shambles this season, but we all know this was a confidence booster for the offense a little bit. You know, they got the running game going this game, man. Does this game get us back on track to get ready for the playoffs?
I think Monday night got us back on track. I said that on Wednesday, and I'll say it again. The only thing that was wrong on Monday night was Jalen's turnovers. And if you're going to tell me that the only thing that was wrong with the Eagles on Monday Night Football was just Jalen's turnovers and a guy that doesn't turn the football over,
too. There's a lot of turnovers.
That's it. It's the only thing that was wrong. The offense looked good. The play calling was good. The defense looked good. The run game looked good. I said this on Wednesday, and you can watch that second episode of Hard Knocks, which I watched afterwards. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown fixed whatever problems they had. I don't know where they came. I don't know how it got fixed. It was a year long. It was personal issues that I didn't realize. They fixed the problems that they had. And it's very obvious. Like, after A.J.'s touchdown yesterday, Jalen went over to celebrate with him, give him a hug. Do you know that hasn't happened in 2 years?
No, I already know it. I know it.
2 years. He hasn't celebrated an A.J. Brown touchdown with him. Do you know how stupid that is? Like, there was obvious mortal issues with this team, and it looks like they've appeared to figure them out. Yesterday looked like a complete performance. We could talk about the Raiders all we want. 31-0. They allowed 76 yards of offense to the Raiders. It was efficient. That's what you should do versus bad football teams. The Eagles are back. I proclaimed this on Wednesday. I seen it on Monday. And to me, it feels a lot better than it did the previous 7 weeks. Everyone wants to look at the 3 losses. I don't look at the 3 losses. I've been claiming the Eagles are fraudulent for 7 weeks prior when they were winning games 10-7. That's not the team that you can win with.
Mm-hmm.
This team that played yesterday looks back.
What you think, Big Mo?
I've been consistent. I have a lot of respect for the world champs. I said they're going to be the world champs until somebody knocked them off. Even when they were going through the highs and lows, I still think when they go into the postseason, they're the champs. They're the team to beat, and that doesn't change for me. I don't care what Green Bay has done or even what Seattle has done. These are really good football teams, but what you do in the regular season sets you up for the postseason. the Eagles have already proven what they can do in the postseason. We'll see how good Seattle is in the postseason. We'll see how good Sam Darnold is in the postseason because that's money time. And when the money's on the line, look, I have no dog in the fight. Obviously, I'm going to root for my squad. But if you're asking me objectively who I still think the team to beat is in the NFC, I'm still rolling with the Eagles. I've been consistent.
You have, but now that the Packers have lost Micah Parsons, it makes them very beatable in the playoffs now, man.
Oh, it changes a lot.
But Mo, do the Raiders blow up the team on the offensive side of the ball next year, man, and build around Genty?
Look, they've got a talented young tight end. I think Genty can be a dominant running back, but first thing first, get a quarterback, fix your offensive line. The offensive line is horrible. Like, I think Genty for this season, he's number one in the NFL and being contacted behind the line of scrimmage. So clearly they're not a great run offensive line. There's no one place the Raiders need to add talent to. But they definitely need to shore up the offensive line. And more importantly, in a quarterback-driven league, who's your quarterback? Who's going to be your quarterback? Because if you're going to start a season with question marks at that position, you're going to have another bad season.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. Are they going to blow the offense up? But, yeah, you did mention, bro. I think they would build around Genty and Brock. But, Gene, what you think?
I think that the Raiders are – so there's stages to rebuilds, and the Raiders aren't even in stage one. And what I mean by
what's stage one for the people?
Stage one is when you have, like, good young talent to build around. They have
Brock and Genty.
They have Genty and Brock. You don't build a team around a tight end, and you don't build a team around a running back. You build a team around a defense, or you build a team around an offensive line or a quarterback. That's how you build football teams. The Raiders build their teams ass backwards. And as much as I love Brock Bowers, people forget they took Michael Mayer in the first round the year prior, who's also a tight end. This team took back-to-back tight ends in the first round and a running back. You want to talk about an organization that doesn't know their head from their ass? The Raiders are an organization that doesn't understand how to build a franchise team. They have no offensive line. They have journeyman quarterbacks in Pickett and Smith. This team they need to fire everyone and get football guys in there to build the roster the way it's supposed to be constructed.
Pete Carroll picked Geno.
And picking Pete Carroll was wrong then. Pete Carroll was a motivator. That's what he's always been. If you want to have a 9-7 team become a 12-5 team, hire Pete Carroll. He's going to take you. I'll give you the best comparison to Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is the John Gruden to Tony Dungy. That's what Pete Carroll is. He's not a guy that's going to rebuild an organization. He's just not.
And what's the hate on Pete Carroll, man? Pete Carroll, he had some very successful seasons as a coach, man.
He's also 105 years old.
I know that you left out that part, Carmike. He's like Father Time, and he's gonna be the rebuild guy. Like how long is Pete Carroll gonna be around? To get that organization rectified? Because I don't seem like he's part of their future.
Yeah, you're right. Top of 35th pick, top of the second round.
Speaking of grandfathers, Mo. Colts lose 16-18 to the Seahawks, man. After 5 years of being at home, couch, whatever he so choose to do, Pop Rivers. 18 for 27, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, man. Let's talk about this game, man, and how you feel about Rivers being back.
It's weird because throughout the evening and over the course of the game, as the game was playing out, all I saw was a lot of people on social media talking about, look how great Rivers looks and how he's moving the ball. And I'm different. Maybe I'm a cranky guy, but I just saw an old man. I saw an old man look like an old man, and they play called like he was an old man. And at the end of the day, if your quarterback throws for under 130 yards, he's not throwing the ball anywhere. He's actually dinking and dunking underneath more than an Alex Smith would. Like, I get the plan, right? Because it almost worked. But it didn't work. And I think that's as close as going to come to working. I don't think that old man's going to be that much better next week. I think he's still going to be an old man. I still think they're going to lose. Like they put what was left on their team on their season on an old man. So I know a lot of people want to give him credit. I know it's been 5 years. And I'm going to give him credit for walking away from the game not being in traction. That impressed me. But as far as how he played, I think it's an indictment on their coaching staff and their scouting staff that a guy that's already on the roster couldn't do what he did.
Where else was they going to go, though, Mo? Who else was they lost all 3 quarterbacks this year. Where are you going to go?
I think that the guy that played before him last week, couldn't he play again? Like, all I'm saying is I get why they did it. It's out of desperation. I wasn't that impressed. You know what I was impressed with? Their defense is not a dominant defense, but I was actually impressed with how their defense played throughout that game. But the offense, look, if you're going to do what they did, then Taylor should have got 45 carries.
NFL genius. Let's weigh in.
I think that we have to give Shane Steichen a lot of credit. I mean, you want to talk about a team that battled with, in my opinion, the best team in the NFL at their building in Seattle. Seattle defense has been incredible this year. Now, was Phil Rivers look like an old man? Absolutely. But he still has the intelligence of a veteran quarterback on where to put the ball and when to put it there. Does he have the arm strength to do it at times? No. Sometimes a lot of balls came out looking like wounded ducks. But he didn't turn the football over as much as I thought he would. And he didn't look like he was a deer in the headlights. The speed of the game didn't look like it killed him. Is Phil Rivers good yesterday? No. But was he as bad as I expected him to be? No. He actually looked efficient. And it gave me a little bit more cause to think maybe this Colts team can piece together a win or two. But if I'm Robert Saleh, they play the 49ers next. I'm playing press man coverage next week. Like, I'm making him throw the ball over my head because I don't think it can happen. I'm loading the box to stop Jonathan Taylor, and I'm playing press man coverage. I don't understand why Mike McDonald didn't do more of that. It was very obvious that Philip Rivers was just going to dump the ball off, throw out patterns, throw drags, slants. But Shane Steichen got that defense and got those guys ready to play football. And I think we need to really give a little credit to what Shane Steichen's done. And to Mo's point, should Riley Leonard play? Riley Leonard just played the national championship game last year. I think Riley Leonard is more equipped to lead the Colts on a little bit of a run than Philip Rivers. But Philip Rivers has it between the ears, and we weren't sure whether or not Riley Leonard would have been ready. He had an injury designation for half the week. To be determined. I do agree with Mo, though. I think that Robert Saleh and the 49ers absolutely dominate them in Indianapolis this week.
Now, since we are here, Cam Newton went on his podcast and said he felt disrespected that they didn't call him and decided to go with Phillip. What you think about that, Gene?
So, Cam Newton's an asshole. I'll say 3 things when I say this, right? 1, Shane Steichen has worked with Philip Rivers before. He understands his style of play. He understands the playbook. He's worked with them. He's also been in Indy before. It wasn't with Shane Steichen. It was with Frank Reich, but he was in Indy before. He understands the home of Indy. He also understands Steichen's playbook. Cam Newton would not have been able to walk into that style of offense and play football this week. The way that the style of that Colts offense is, it's not built for a guy like Cam Newton. Cam Newton looked awful his last 3 years in the NFL, but everyone wants to forget that. He looked terrible his last year in Carolina. He looked terrible in New England, and then he looked terrible again when they brought him back to Carolina. I don't know what Cam Newton's looking for. He wants a phone call from an offensive coordinator, a head coach that was an offensive coordinator that's never worked with him. And he feels slighted. Screw you, Cam.
Mo, what you think, man? Should they have called Cam to give him an opportunity?
I think, look, the last time we saw Cam, he looked cooked. Like I said before, he looked cooked. And if
But
I
then he
was
still didn't he still the starting job from Sam Darnold that year too, and he was bad.
right, I'm just saying he was a bad football player his last 3 seasons, and I get it. Sure, he's younger. I'm sure he's in better shape. I mean, Philip Rivers got a dad body. But
Yo,
yeah, dad, you can tell when he was out there in his pants, he looked like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He got a dad body.
yo,
But
no
to Gene's
granddaddy body. He a granddaddy.
but to Gene's point, he can still think the game. He still knows the game. He can still dissect coverages and things like that. Things that Cam at his peak struggled with it. So I know Cam likes to talk. He certainly likes to say things that'll get him attention, draw stuff to his podcast. He's going to keep talking. I think the coach made the right decision. I don't know how he felt slighted because there are a lot of teams this season have had quarterback injuries and they didn't call Cam Newton either.
People forget that Shane Steichen was his quarterback coach from 2011 to 2016. He was also his offensive coordinator in 2016 and 2017. So when we talk about Phil Rivers, they have a relationship, their playbook. Like Cam would not have picked that playbook up in 3 days. He couldn't pick up a playbook in New England in a whole preseason. That's not where my head's at. I completely disagree.
Let me ask you this, Gene.
Yep.
Do the Colts still have a real chance to get to the bowl this year?
No. Get to the bowl? No. They have a chance to win a playoff game. That's what they have a chance to do. And I don't think it's a better than good chance. I think it's a chance. Like when you say chance, I mean like 20%. They could win a playoff game. I think they're the third best team in their division now. Mm-hmm. The Jaguars and Texans are clearly better than them. I think they're the 7 seed at best in the AFC playoff picture. So do I think they can go into New England and win a playoff game with that noodle arm? No.
I mean, he got time to work out, man. He got 3 weeks left in the regular season to warm himself up.
You're telling me you give him a better than average chance to go into New England or Buffalo the first week of playoffs and win a football game?
No, I can't. New England, okay. Buffalo.
Well, that's where he's going to play.
I'll give him maybe a 10% chance of winning because of his strictly his experience. They have JT, and that defense was actually balling. I give him just because Bo Nix and Drake May are still young boys. They don't have playoff experience.
Right now, the Colts are 8th. They're outside the playoff looking in. They play the 49ers this week, who I just don't.
Winnable game.
And then they play the Jaguars and then at Houston, who's the number 1 defense in football. They have to win 2 of those 3 games to make the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, that's tough.
So I give them a negative 10% chance to even make the playoffs.
On any given Sunday, Mo. We should all know this by now, man. But Mo, first half started 24-7. Josh Allen and company put together a 28-point second half to beat the Patriots 35-31. What happened in this game for the Patriots?
I really thought they had it so easy in the first half that they had a chance to blow the Bills out. There was a moment in that game where they could have literally took control and ended it, and I just think they whiffed. I know they went into the half up. I believe it was 21-7, but it felt like it should have been a bigger lead than that. I'm going to give Josh Allen and company a lot of credit for fighting back, coming back from that in that environment where they were to do what they did. That was impressive to me. And maybe it happens sometimes. You're a young up-and-coming team, quarterback. Look, I would say he didn't play his best football game. They didn't play their best football game. The Bills just outworked them. Josh Allen put on that cape again, ran the football, threw the football. James Cook did what he's done all year long, be one of the best running backs in football. They were the more physical team. They won at the line of scrimmage. So hats off to the Bills.
NFL genius.
Josh McDaniels lost that game for the New England Patriots. They were running the ball for 9.8 yards a carry, ran the ball 20 times to running backs. The defense got gassed, and what ended up happening was you give Josh Allen that many opportunities to score touchdowns. Guess what? He's going to score touchdowns. They were running the ball for 9.8 yards a carry, and they don't fucking run the ball. I don't understand. If I was running the ball for 9.8 yards a carry and I was up 21-0 in a football game, I guarantee you I'd be running the football 30 times, 40 times in a football game. I think that New England is so concerned with building Drake May's brand and getting him an MVP award that they lost themselves a football game they shouldn't have lost.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Look, you have to admit, Carmike, how often does a team rush for over 200 yards and lose? That's got to be very rare.
That's tough, man. But NFL genius Josh Allen has accounted for at least 35 touchdowns in the last 6 seasons, joining elite companies such as Tom Brady, who had 7, Aaron Rodgers, who had 7, Drew Brees, who had 6. The only players in NFL history with the least 35 plus offensive touchdowns, man. So my question is, if Josh Allen retires, is he a Hall of Famer?
I mean, yeah, he's probably a Hall of Famer. I think that the problem with Josh Allen is not what happens during the regular season. It's the decision-making he makes in the playoff. Winning in the playoff, winning those big games on the road, or getting to the Super Bowl. I think winning matters a lot in the NFL. Stats matter to make the Hall of Fame. But Terrell Davis wasn't a Hall of Fame running back until he won the Super Bowl. He had such a short career.
It was.
I think that happens a lot when you talk about quarterbacks. You got to be Dan Marino great to be a Hall of Fame quarterback and never win a Super Bowl.
Josh Allen, Dan Marino great?
Not yet. Dan Marino is way more prolific passer. Josh Allen definitely puts more on his back. But the problem with Josh Allen, and speaking with most Bills fans, I was watching the game yesterday. It's a good football game. And
right there.
Down the stretch, Josh Allen handed the ball off to James Cook, and Ray Davis, and they got a first down. And the guy sitting next to me goes, "Josh Allen's so good, man." Like, that's the problem with Bills fans or Josh Allen fans. It's whenever Buffalo does something well, it's look at Josh carrying the whole team. But whenever they lose, it's Josh doesn't have a good enough team.
That's facts.
Like invalid to criticism. And I think that he deserves a lot more than he gets. Sorry, last small point. And I'll make this point, and this point probably will go on deaf ears, or someone will probably smack their head or be annoyed. But if you look at the last 5 years and you look at Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, Lamar is over-criticized and Josh is overpraised for statistically being a worse quarterback. Lamar's got a better passer rating, more touchdowns. He's more efficient. They've won just the same amount of playoff games. I wonder why.
Mo, weigh in, man. Josh Allen, Hall of Fame quarterback.
I mean, sure. If he leaves now, he probably walks into the Hall of Fame. But I think that quarterbacks, especially guys that are at the level that Allen he's at right now, you want to be good enough or have a great enough career where you're in another conversation. And if he walks away right now, he's not in that conversation. He's not close to being in that conversation. So Gene brought it up. Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl, but he's still in that conversation. Josh Allen is not in that conversation. He's got to do more.
Mo, Packers, Broncos, man, they was in a shootout up until Micah Parsons got hurt, and it seemed, offense got Micah Parsons and Mr. Christian Watson, who is hurt again, and then Packers offense kind of deflated, and Broncos started taking over and dominating the game on them. What happened in this game besides the injuries for the Packers?
It's kind of like the game that they talked about with New England going up against the Bills. I really felt like their defense got gassed. Bo Nix, to me, I watched that game. I don't think I've seen him look that good all year long. Like, he looked prolific. Like he put the team on his back, but I think a lot of that had to do with the Packers defense was gassed and Michael Parsons was gone. That made a big difference as well. But I'll give him credit. If you told me the Broncos were in a shootout, I would have said they're probably going to take the L because that offense is not prolific. Like that's the best that he's looked to me all season long. Look, if you can get that kind of production from Bo Nix and the defense gets back on track, again, the Broncos are a legitimate threat. I'm just not that confident in their offense being that prolific on a consistent basis. I thought Jordan Love was okay, but then the turnovers again. And I know, Brett, we were just talking about this last week, how he'd been really good about not turning over the football. Right when you said that, the turnovers reared their head. Look, I still think the Packers are a threat in the NFC. I just don't think one of my favorites.
NFL genius.
All right, this is going to sting. I hope Brett's not listening. I love Brett, but I'm just calling it like it is. Jordan Love has constantly been in the position to solidify himself as a top 5 MVP candidate. Every time he's in that position, he lays a stinker. Go look at the game versus Philadelphia, how bad he played. Go look at the game yesterday versus Denver, how bad he played. And I understand he scored 4 touchdowns and beat Detroit at Detroit. So everyone's going to look at that football game and go, yeah, he beat Detroit. Yeah, we forget that Detroit was missing their number 1 corner, their number 1 safety, and he threw the ball well in the football game. Jordan Love isn't it. He's not it. He's never been it.
Great, Gene. So are you saying Jordan Love stinks it up against good to great defenses?
Correct. Especially when he's playing from behind and trying to throw a comeback drive. I don't know. A Packers fan can correct me. Maybe I've missed them. Can someone tell me the most prolific Jordan Love comeback drive? Like when they were down and he like brought them back to win the football game. I just go through the schedule. Go through last year, go through this year. He's a front runner. When they're winning.
That's weird because they either blowing the team out and winning or they just losing games. I can't think of no epic.
I mean, we had a chance to win the game versus Carolina, lost 16-3. Had a chance to win the game versus Philadelphia, lost 10-7. Had the chance to win the game versus Cleveland. They fell apart, lost 13-10. Had the chance to win the game versus Denver. They were up 23-14. They proceeded to lose the next 20 minutes of football, 20-3. That's a Jordan Love problem. And this is another team where I think the offensive coordinator deserves to be sued for malpractice. They were running the ball for 6 yards a carry, and they stopped running the football. Josh Jacobs is running the ball for 6.1 yards a carry, and he gets 12 carries in a game where you're up 23-14. What are you doing?
That's where look, Gene's right. It's a lot like the Drake May situation. I felt like he's calling a football game to elevate Jordan Love. You don't have to. You have a great running back, a strong run game. If they run the football, they win the football game.
It's true. It's true. But they also lost Christian Watson, man. Christian,
They got Jaden Reed back. I don't want to hear it. They got so many talented players on that team. Luke Musgrave was a second-round draft pick. Jaden Reed's been a good receiver in the league. Matthew Golden was a first-round draft pick. They lost Christian Watson. Oh, boo-hoo. They got Romeo Dobbs, Dontavian Wicks. These aren't
shit. They lost Tyler Kraft, too, man. You know that was one of his favorite targets.
That's a bigger loss than Christian Watson.
Plus, come on. Christian Watson stay hurt. Come on.
He does, but he's a threat when he's out there for the Packers, but whenever he's available. Mo, your team and Jory team go head to head, man. It looked a little competitive out there, man. One team with nothing to lose, and your team with a playoff berth brewing for y'all, man.
That was not a competitive game. Stop it.
37-24. Tony Pollard rushed for 104. Let's talk about this game, Mo.
I didn't think it was competitive. I think that if you're a Titans fan and you looked at the last part of the game, you might tell yourself, like, we scored some late and look good. That's what happens. Those late touchdowns are like just dressing. They're window stuff. It's not real. We did what we've done all season long. We've beaten the teams we're supposed to beat. The Titans are a team we're supposed to beat. We beat them. I I never thought the
I don't
game was
think
in
it was.
doubt.
It was 17-10 and after the first half. You
It
don't
was
think that's a competitive
31-10 going into the fourth quarter. Like, let's stop. Come on, bro. It was 31-10.
No, I said the first half it was 17-10. That's what I said. I ain't say nothing about third quarter. Yeah, they lost. They started getting popped in third quarter.
It's not a competitive football game.
17-10 ain't a football game after the first half.
At the half, you're down 7. Sounds like every blowout.
Look, I'm not here to rain on Titans fans parade. You have a young quarterback. You know you got work ahead of you. It's a rookie season. We beat them. We're supposed to beat them. I don't want to seem. I'm grateful for every win, but I'm still realistic about what my team is. We're a good football team. I still think we're the third best team in our own division. So what I'm not going to tell you is I expect the Niners to be in the NFC title game. I'd like that to happen, but realistically, I don't think that's going to happen.
NFL genius.
I mean, this was not a competitive football game.
10-17. That's a competitive game. You're down a touchdown going into the third quarter, and you're a trash team.
And they got the ball first in the first half, so they were down a touchdown even with an extra possession. The first possession of the third quarter, the 49ers scored a touchdown. Then the Titans went 3 and out. Then the 49ers scored another touchdown. Then the Titans went 3 and out. So at one point in that game, to start the fourth quarter, if it wasn't for Brock Purdy fumbling, they were up 31-10 with the football. Not a competitive football game.
Yeah, but
I know they made it look cool and clean at the end of the game. Like, oh, we only lost by 13.
Hey, Gene, look, I understand. All I said was it was 10-17 halftime. That's it. 10-17 halftime.
I don't think that's competitive.
NFL Genius, big win for the Ravens, man. 24-0 win over the Bengals, man. Joe Burrow and the Bengals could not find the end zone with Ja'Marr Chase catching for over 10 catches for over 100 yards. What happened on this game, man?
A couple of things happened in that game. Number one, everybody not named Ja'Marr Chase and Chase Brown out of the backfield stunk, including Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had the worst game I've ever seen him have as a pro. He was terrible. The Ravens defense played well. Derrick Henry ran the football well. Keaton Mitchell proved when I called him lightning in that Thunder and Lightning situation that he proved that he can beat lightning. A lot of things happened. The one thing that didn't happen is Lamar still isn't playing well. And we can pretend that, they won 24-0. He's still not playing good football. He still doesn't look like himself. But other than the fact that everybody on the Bengals not named Ja'Marr Chase and Chase Brown, and Ja'Marr Chase had a big drop that led to an interception.
Right.
Everybody played bad on that football team. They were terrible yesterday. They looked like a 4-10 team.
Mo, what happened to Joe Burrow?
I thought it was interesting that Joe Burrow would come out and have the kind of performance that he had after he kind of gave that really somber interview about, why am I doing this if I'm not having fun? Why keep doing? He sounded just like Andrew Luck. I've heard those words spoken before. Maybe not the exact same words, but along those lines, where you start doubting whether you want to play anymore. But he was thinking that way going into a football game, and I just thought that his mind wasn't completely on football. I'm a huge Joe Burrow fan. Gene said this a long time ago, and I hope he's wrong still, but he's been right more times than not. Joe Burrow's the kind of guy that it would not shock me if he walked away from football, and I don't want that. I enjoy watching him, but he's the kind of guy that he does not want help getting out of bed when he's older or later on in life. It would not shock me if he made the same decision that Andrew Luck made.
I mean, it's not fun when you're losing. That's what I think it is. He's losing.
Well, he's losing, and he's taking a beating too.
Andrew Luck was having winning seasons and retired.
But he was having winning seasons, Carmike, but his body was getting destroyed.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The difference is Joe Burrow can't really say he's having fun. I mean, he's always out for the Bengals. So
let me give you the curtain. Joe Burrow's going to ask out of Cincinnati. I'm the GM.
Who gonna take that contract?
I got you. I'm the GM of the Cincinnati Bengals. And my first 2 phone calls are 1, the Minnesota Vikings, and 2, New York Jets.
Mm.
I'm calling both those teams up. The Jets have 5 first-round draft picks. Hey, including a top 5 pick this year. Hey, Jets, give me all 5 of them. I'll give you Burrow and Chase. You take that money off our books, you give me all 5 first-round draft picks. Who says no?
It's not a bad trade, but you just
Joe
gonna
Burrow
give
says
up
no.
your franchise like to the Jets? He ain't going. They ain't gonna
Put
go.
Burrow with Chase and Garrett Wilson behind that offensive line that's actually played well this year in New York. I think that the Jets have a perfect home for Joe Burrow. Or you can pair him up with Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson by trading for a young talent in J.J. McCarthy, a couple first-round draft picks. So in both scenarios, I think Joe Burrow is gone. A sleeper team to look at that would basically give the whole world is the Rams if Matthew Stafford retires.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would work.
Matthew is old.
I do like the Minnesota one because
Mm-hmm.
of the receiving core they already have in place. You add Joe Burrow to that in that system, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, thank you for bringing this up. How about them Cowboys?
We'll get there in a minute, man. But NFL Genius, we got to talk about it. 31-3. Caleb Williams and company dog walk the Browns, man. Caleb in his interview said, I can make any throw. He's that good. But Shador had a terrible game. 3 picks, 177 yards. Let's talk about it. What happened in this game for Shador and company?
I mean, exactly what you just said. He held the ball too long and he threw the ball in the wrong spots. Shador was bad. I call it like it is. He was not good in this football game. He got sacked 5 times. He turned the ball over through 3 interceptions. I think that what people don't realize, every team that CJ Gardner-Johnson goes to, their defense gets immensely better at turning the football over.
This is true. Mo, what happened in this game?
Caleb needs to shut his mouth too, by the way. But
I think Chicago's defense took advantage of a young rookie quarterback. I think Chicago's defense I think they did everything you need to do to disrupt Shador. One of his bad habits that he's had going back to college is holding on to the football too long. He doesn't drop back 10 yards. He drops back 10, 15, 20 yards. He doesn't believe in the throwaway. It's okay to throw the ball away and live to come back another down. Third and 10 is better than 3rd and 20. It's okay to throw the football away. I think that you got to judge Shador Sanders on he's a rookie, and every game for the rest of the season will be an audition point. They thought he played well last week. I'll give you that. I thought he was pretty good last week, but he was god awful this week. I still think when it's all said and done, Cleveland is still looking for a quarterback.
Are you not going to put some of that blame on the receivers? Because Judy definitely got a touchdown catch snatched right out of his hands for a pick.
I mean, some of it goes to them. It's not like he's playing with all-world receivers. Isaiah Bond, Harold Fannin, Jerry Jeudy, Malachi Corley. But let's not take anything off Shador's plate too, because when they looked really good last week, he got all the credit. So now he looks bad. He's going to get none of the blame. No.
Right.
Mo, did you see your transcendent quarterback's interview after the game, man?
I don't know. He's always been kind of a jerk, so it's not new. He was a jerk at SC. I guess you could call it confidence, but what I would say to Caleb is say less. Your team's playing well. I think he's having a good season, but say less. Like I don't care if you can make every throw. There's a lot of guys that can make every throw that they're not in the league anymore. So having ability is one thing. How you apply that ability is another thing. They're not winning because he's their best player. They're winning because their running game and their defense. I'm just saying he's played well, but he's not Josh Allen. It's not that kind of situation. I think Johnson has gotten the best out of him, and I still think he'll get better. But the idea that it's solely because of Caleb Williams, He's a complement to their run game. He's a complement to their defense when he doesn't turn the football over. I think he's played well.
God, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm good.
Caleb Williams is the 18th ranked quarterback on PFF. 1-8. Let's stop talking like he's third.
Well, it ain't us. It's Caleb marketing himself as the transcendent talent.
I mean, he's talented. Absolutely.
NFL genius. 34, 26.
Waiting for wait.
Them boys.
Can we skipped over the game of the week?
So you want to go to the Lions and Rams?
That's the game of the week.
Shootout game. 41-34, man. Talk about it.
So I seen Jeremy's comment earlier, and I want to put it up.
About the catch from Cody that
he said, by the way, they described. I was baffled how this was a touchdown. He was either down at the 1.
He was down at the 1.
Or it was an incomplete pass.
He was down at the 1.
I agree with that. I think he would have been down at the 1. I think the Rams would have scored a touchdown the next play, like they had all day with Kyron Williams. I don't think it mattered in the game. So I want to dissuade any of the illusion that the Lions got robbed in this football game. The Rams are the better football team. But it's not close. I said the Lions would struggle this year. I said they'd go 9-8. Shocker. Where are they at? They're 8-6. Not going to make the playoffs.
You do know this is the first loss Jared Goff took to the Rams. He's been beating them ever since he left.
You lose a lot of coordinators. Shit happens. That's not a thing, right? Remember, that wasn't a thing. Losing Aaron Glenn and losing Ben Johnson wasn't a thing. I got told about this offensive coordinator that's been on the team forever, and he's really smarter than Ben Johnson. He just was in the background, John Morton. And then Dan Campbell took his play calling away. I think the Lions are good. I think that they can be great. I think this was the off year that they needed. I think the Lions will be right back in the pack of things. But Lions fans have to get out of the 15-2 mentality that they had last year. It's not the same team. You lost a lot of fucking coaches. A lot. With that being said, I think the Rams are the best team in football. And to go into the Rams' house and only lose by 7, it's competitive football.
Mo, weigh in.
Best game of the day. By far. Best game of the day. Entertaining football. The Rams, to me, their ability to run the football, throw the football. Look, when Matthew Stafford can just step back and sling that football, he's as good as it gets. The Rams, to me, even though Seattle, I have a lot of respect for Seattle. I think they're the best team in the AFC West or NFC West. I do, in my opinion. And it was a great football game. Look, I'm one of these people that feel like this. I think Jared Goff is a really good quarterback. I think he's a terrific system quarterback. I don't think you're going to win a Super Bowl if Jared Goff is your quarterback. That's me. I'm consistent that way. I think he's one of those guys that's really good, and he has a ton of talent around him. But when it matters the most, he ain't going to be there for you.
So my thing is, do you see the Rams still going deep with them losing one of their heavy scoring wide receivers, Devontae Adams?
They better figure out a way to get Colby Parkinson more involved. If you're a fantasy owner and you have Devontae Adams on your team, pick up Colby Parkinson. That's basically going to be Matthew Stafford's second option. If I'm Seattle, I throw everything in the kitchen sink to slow Puka down and make someone else beat me. Without Devontae Adams there, it's tough. I don't think that the Rams can win in the playoff without Devontae Adams. I'd like to see how bad the hamstring pull is. Yeah. If it's going to sideline him for a month, if it's going to sideline him for 3 weeks, what it's going to be. But if I'm the Rams, I figure out any way possible to get him healthy. And they need that bye week badly because you're about a month away from the playoffs. And if you can get him back for the playoffs, I think that's huge.
Could be, but hamstrings like to linger, depending on it. He's older, so a spring chicken and recover fast from a hamstring.
No.
But hey man, that was absolutely shootout of a game between Golf and Stafford, man. Good to watch, man. Hopefully, we'll see the Lions make it. We see it again in the playoffs. But Mo, Vikings, Cowboys, 34-26. It was JJ McCarthy was playing in one of the games of his life, man. Let's talk about it.
How's the Cowboys the only ones that can't stop JJ McCarthy? They're the only ones. Like, for that game, that should be his highlight reel going into the next season. Like, this is what I can do. Look, I actually enjoyed watching that game, not because I like going after Cowboy fans. I do. But, yeah, they made JJ McCarthy look like a franchise quarterback. And I had a ball watching the football game. This thing where people were like, Dallas has a real shot to win the division, and okay. And now they're like, Dallas has a real shot not to even make the playoffs, which is kind of normal for them.
They still got a chance. Eagles got to lose 2 of the last 3.
Eagles have to lose 3 of the last 3.
If that's what you're holding out for the Eagles to just flatline, then you're not going to the playoffs.
They have no chance. The Eagles have to lose all 3 of their last 3 games, and the Cowboys have to win all 3 of their last 3 games. Just call it like it is. The season's over for Dallas. And it couldn't make me happier. Hold up. We the boys. Are y'all still them boys? I'm just trying to understand. Are y'all them boys? There's nothing more outside of an Eagles win that gets me more excited than watching the Cowboys get excited. I love when they win football games they shouldn't win, because then they get the expectations up so much higher than they need them to be. And then all of a sudden it's, we the boys, and then they lose.
That's funny. That's
and it's incredible. And the excuses that get made for the Dallas Cowboys are just priceless. Well, Dak threw for 274 yards. They lost. I don't want to hear anything else. They lost.
I mean, he did rack up some yards, man. 294, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. They let CeeDee Lamb do whatever, but they held George Pickens in the box, who is one of their scoring wide receivers. You know what I mean? So that says a lot about that team. They can't get in the end zone without George Pickens.
I'm holding up the L, bro. We the most. I love it.
You know what? That's where I'm at. Like, you know what the crazy part is? The Cowboys have a chance to have 2,000-yard receivers, 1,000-yard running back, and they're not going to make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. They're done. I love it.
You know, heavy scoring offense, no defense, man. You got to outscore everybody. You know, I think I seen a stat that said they the only team that allows 29 points and score 29 points in the same time. Well, the second team in history to allow that to happen. But NFL Genius, do you see Jetta staying in Minnesota?
Really depends on what they do this offseason. They go out and get Joe Burrow. You better believe Jetta's is staying in Minnesota.
Oh my God.
Not with JJ McCarthy, though. Something's got to change in Minnesota. By the way, did you see him grittying into the end zone?
Yes.
Haven't been awful all year, and you're like grittying into the end zone. He's been terrible all year. And like, he's been so bad that we look at a performance like yesterday. Well, he was 15-24. He had 2 touchdowns and a pick. It was his coming out party. For most people, that's like
I mean, can you say he's been bad? He only played what, 8 games as of last night for the season?
Oh, stop it.
I know one thing. There's no way Justin Jefferson stays there, because look, you want to win football games, but as an individual, you want to highlight your own abilities. Justin Jefferson, he's not going to any Pro Bowls. He's not meeting all pro if that guy's his quarterback. That guy's not
ain't it?
Right, because this guy can't get him the football. like if I'm Justin Jefferson, if that guy's going to be the starting quarterback, I want out. I'm in the prime of my career, and it's being wasted because you got a guy that can't get me in football.
Ladies and gentlemen, That is our time for the day. The time went fast. We appreciate everybody stopping through to Coffee and Sports this morning and tuning into the Wire to Wire Network. We got the NFL Genius. Do you have any closing remarks for our people?
We them boys. Hold up. We them boys.
Oh man. Oh, we also got college playoffs this week starting up, man. That's beautiful coming up. But as always, if you mow better, you do better. Close us out, big dog.
Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure you check out all the great content we have at the Wire Network. We appreciate you.